bold prediction of my own to say that the 20% of people that voted for Team Liquid were probably
20.
Just EU. It was 20, right?
No, it's Myztro CIS, yeah.
You know what? Can we just do this bit again, please? Cut! Let's go back. I was going to say, the 20% of people that voted for Myztro CIS were just EU boys.
Do you reckon?
They were just like, no, they're going to win. It's still EU at the best.
It's just the blind fandom there.
There are people out there that bury their head in the sand and still are like, no, it's not Liquid, it's the other team.
I'm going to stand with those guys right now because I think it is going to be Liquid.
You would?
Yeah. There was a pretty roller coaster day for Myztro CIS yesterday. The reason they're facing Liquid so early on is because they got knocked down to the lower bracket by Cyber fighting, which was a super unexpected result. Probably that was the biggest upset we've had in the tournament. I know Zdron's had a very shaky duel tournament. He actually got eliminated by Dandaking down in the lower bracket. So he's not managed to get as far as he wanted. The one silver lining, though, is that Claws, he knocked out Dahang to the lower bracket from the winner bracket side, and he's qualified into top 8 in the duel, whereas Dahang lurks down in the deep loser bracket to see whether he's going to be able to make it to day 3. So maybe, we know that Claws has struggled versus Liquid before, most notably Rafa. Let's see.
Well, we're moments away from finding out. This is a match that a lot of people have been anticipating. Liquid are the clear favourites, not only to win this series, but to win the whole tournament. But as they say in LAN, anything is possible. It's going to be Ruins of Sarnath. Let's get started.
And oh my god, already we are going to be seeing a Slash pickup from 2 players on the server. So Dahang and Claws are going to be looking to go head-to-head on Slash. Likewise, Rafa and Zdron, they are going to be on Galena's side. But we're going to see Skates out. And I wonder which of the 2 players can maybe get the most benefits with their Slidey champion.
I think Galena's going to be very, very important as an add-on to that. Especially on a map like Ruins of Sarnath, it's going to be Rafa taking the first blood. Run kind of semi-caught out of position, it feels. There was a totem there, but at that point, I think Claws had long moved away, but this time Claws with the slash. Here we go.
He's managed to get the heavy armor as well. Rafa, he has a couple of resources. We've got 45 seconds now until the power-up is going to be up. It does look like Zdron's taken a lot of damage, but Rafa he receives a rocket to the chest. Does manage to exchange a round. I think Claws ended up sliding into the pole. Maybe they slid into each other, actually. Now 30 seconds away from the power-up. Rafa, again, with that Tri-Bolt respawn, he's going to get rockets. There's going to be Mega Health very shortly. He's going to be looking to find Dahang, quite possibly.
I think one thing that really is important about Team Liquid is the fact that basically, they play the same champions as each other. It's not that I am the Slash player and you're the Anarchy player, for example. They both use Slash, but it depends on the map that dictates who uses who. In Ruins of Sarnath, it does always sort of tend to be Dahang taking Mantle for this one, but completely catching them behind. The 2-piece attack is going to be real quad damage. It's going to go in the favor of Team Liquid.
There we go and see what Slash quad is going to be able to do. Oh, a rocket just catching Claws, but we've got a frag from over the other side. Is Ron going to be able to get himself over? He's got the starting nail gun, which he did tell me before that he says, you know what, I'm going to use starting nail gun versus Liquid, which, just say, I suggested the idea at one point, but he didn't believe me.
But did he just think about it before the tournament? You know what? Zoot is right.
I don't think he did it because of me.
I think Zoot is the smartest person out there, and I'm going to listen to his grand advice.
He didn't think that in so many words.
But basically, yeah.
Well, probably not.
It's running out of ammo for, actually has completely run out of ammo for that nail gun, unfortunately. So definitely, I think one of the more limited starting weapons now. It kind of only really has a set effective range. Excellent rail, but more work needs doing. And Claws finishing the job. Nice little 2-piece combo there.
Trying to take a small risk running through the plasma trail. If that explodes on you, it can do heaps more damage to you. Dahang manages to take down Claws. Ron immediately countering versus Rafa. Looking for a rail, but he can't quite land it. And he's only on 10 points of health.
Ron just, he had the angle so many times, but the second he pulled the trigger was just slightly away. Rafa with the turnaround. Excellent rail to answer back. Don't chase me too hard, mate. Liquid are only slightly behind now too, which is really important. I feel like Liquid are the hardest team in the world to count out because how many deficits have they been facing that they just magically come back from because of how composed they are in the match. They are like the least tilt-prone team out there.
I've got a little fact for you as well, Ketchup.
Shoot.
Zdron has never lost to a North American team in Quake Champions.
Really?
Really.
That's actually pretty interesting. We'll see if that continues. Just lost to himself as he committed suicide.
This
But
was
that was
true
very
at
tactical.
QuakeCon, so I think it's still true. So I'm confident with that.
I'm just going to believe you, mate.
Yeah,
I'm just going to believe you, but it's going to be protection spawning to hang with way too much of a stack to challenge, with Myztro CIS being as weak as they are. Zron can only do so much. Claws, borrow time, get out of there. I respect the attempt to steal the heavy, though. If you know Dahang has protection, just don't let him get heavy. If we're going to die, give up the death and have purpose to it.
Absolutely. You can tell that he needed that resource in order to really be continuously aggressive. Does manage to push Liquid into a frag lead for the moment, but we are going to see protection dying out. And I'm curious to see where Dahang is going to be pushing soon. There is the heavy that's spawning imminently. He's holding position up by the nail gun bounce pad. It looks like, there it goes, Zron starting to pressure. There's going to be the spawn immediately. Zron's a little late, and now he's caught between a rock and a hard place. And Claw's just on the side. It's a fantastic rail from Dahang. He's going to find with the nails. Zron again with the starting nail gun, doing good damage. But Claws gets caught out. Dahang is doing work right now.
And that was a really fortunate spawn for Zron to kind of just be in the right position so quickly. That said, Dahang has had some phenomenal fights so far. That's one thing we can't take away from Dahang, is he's never really up there in a list of like absolute greatest aimers or whatever. Like for some reason he's not really part of those discussions, but at this level of play, he just seems to get it done. He seems to be such a consistent level of excellence.
I've seen the nuttiest clutch rails from Dahang on stage, to be honest. I mean, yeah, as you say, you don't normally think of it as your top aimer list, but I'd say he almost hits more important shots than anybody else. When they do land, of course. It's just wild what we've seen from Dahang in the past. Anyway, we're going to move over to the other Slash player. It's Claws. He really needs some items, and it looks like if he can hold on for a couple of seconds, they're going to be able to get heavy, but we've got to jump down from one. Claws gets onto the heavy armor. He needs that LG out as soon as possible and getting himself within the line of sight, chasing Dahang. Not going to go with the follow through the plasma trail, though, and Raffer off the spawn. I don't think Claws could get that rail out in time, and Liquid, you can see a bit more of a swing now. 5 frags in their favor. Oh my god, the 100 rocket from that angle.
That was so perfect from so far away, it felt like it just shouldn't have happened. How does man land a 100 damage rocket from that far away, just from a good read alone? But either way, it's going to be Dahang with the quad damage. He's now going to run this absolute rampage. Starting machine gun for Dahang, though. Claws gets a little bit of damage, but not enough. The cooldown in between the rails. Zron's going to die regardless, but he did decent damage to put Dahang a little bit fearful. He's having to waste time now just to go back and re-heal.
See if we can get another, though. Still got that rail, can get that insta-frag. Gonna find one up the bounce pad, and a splash up the side. Raffer also takes down Zron, so now just over a 10 frag lead. We need to see Zron and Claws establishing some control, otherwise we're gonna see this go pretty pear-shaped for them.
There's just something about watching Team Liquid play, and it's their coordination and how much they clearly trust each other in their own gameplay, that really this is the main reason they are the greatest team in the world. Like, no other team in the world has this level of synergy.
Dahang finds Claws and so much damage. You're going to speed the information. Claws is at tribal. Never mind, mate. I've sorted it out myself.
Kind of going back to that trust I was talking about. Rafa didn't even need to be there. Speaking of which, Ron actually does manage to get one rail. At least gets 2 in a row. So that would be Dahang and then Rafa back to back.
That's actually really big because they've interrupted the rotation there. Strong goes down to heavy, but Claws is super late. The heavy's already gone away. Claws really needed to be with Zron at the same time. They were both in the mega room, so I don't know why he wasn't closer to his teammate.
We have 30 seconds now until that protection. We're going to get at least one more rotation over the major pickups here. It just kind of feels like these kind of wayward scenarios where they just kind of clash heads. It's always going in Liquid's favor. And you guys have been waiting for this one. We have listening for Team Liquid ready to go.
I'm pushing it.
G-Stole, but they're really weak, both.
I'm gonna reset.
Okay.
I spawned LG.
It's 03, 33.
Okay, I'm going a rail to power up. He trailed on it. Kill.
Trying.
She took a lap before. Railed her.
Going for it.
You need totems? Hey, on her up. Okay,
I'm gonna get 41 mega and then rushing heavy.
Rail Galena. Portal.
All right, I'm leaving her. I'm just getting
She's
control.
dead.
LG's the other. 17 heavy.
Portal. Both portal.
On the way.
I'm at LG.
Just the sickest, cleanest comms you've ever heard catch up. It is the perfect information all the time. You can see an amazing run as well re-establishing the control. I mean, you don't come much closer to perfection, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and it almost feels like Dahang being a little bit more vocal than we heard back in the DreamHack Tour days. You know, a lot of people remember their communication from there, but somehow manages to improve upon it. You never thought it was possible. That said, they have had a phenomenal lead so far. It's now 16 kills ahead for Team Liquid, where Myztro CIS had a good start, but it very quickly trickled away from them. And it kind of goes back to Team Liquid just being so composed, so machine-like.
And what's wrong, he's trying to get himself near the heavy armor. He takes 50 damage, and really every point of damage you take now is incredibly impactful when you're trying to pick up the control and re-establish like a string of frags to get back, to recover from a 15 frag lead, let alone. Rafa's gonna go in for one, he's gonna go in for another with claws, and now they're almost 10 frags away from hitting the limit in the first map. This is dominant from Liquid. It looked a little bit shaky in the first moments, but they can play the long game if they want. They're so good in that late game stage.
And even though Dahang and Rafa, they've played against pretty much all of these players in any order many, many times over the course of the year, you know, they've kind of remarked in the past that it can sometimes take them a little bit of time to get familiar and get their feet wet against specific combinations of players. It almost feels like maybe that's what's happened here. Is this going to be one of those cases where we just see Liquid maintain this dominance in the other two maps? It remains to be seen, as Dahang now is going to get one of those really important frags again.
Here comes the quad also. Dahang, he picks it up, he's super stacked. They get another 2 between them. He's also got pretty much all the weapons and now pretty much all the ammo too. I don't think we're a million miles away from seeing map 1 going to the Liquid boys, and he's also found exactly where Claws is, gonna chase down. There was a switch over, by the way, from the players. BJ switch from 1, Dahang moves away from the slash. Actually, I missed when that happened, but it looks like they didn't feel the effect of it, despite Dahang actually being in a frag lead. He's 24 for 9 at the moment.
No, I was going to bring attention to that as well before you did, to be honest, how it feels like there was a counter change at play. You know, the second we saw the change to BJ or whatever, it almost felt like the change was made immediately by Liquid. And I think being able to change champion after death is so much more popular now in the patch. Now the cooldowns on abilities are universal. You can afford now to use an ability die and know that when you change, the cooldowns will pretty much be the same when you reappear.
Dahang picking up another, and that's gonna be it, guys. That is Liquid with a dominant performance here on map 1. Ruins goes to the Americans. We're gonna have to wait for Corrupted Keep next, and that is Liquid's map pick.
And I wonder if it's because of the world famous at this point, Strog and Pika combination. You know, I know new patch, new day, we see new metas come about all the time, but we can never forget about the time Team Liquid pretty much reinvented Corrupted Keep the second Strog and Pika came out. And it was Dahang just being this innovator. You know, Liquid have been trendsetters for every single meta in this game, and 2v2, I think, is the most prominent case of it.
Yeah, I mean, I believe we saw Dahang picking a Strog and Pika on Corrupted Keep versus the Vengabus yesterday. So I'll be very surprised if he doesn't go with him again. I suspect Eisen will also be there to follow up. Some beautiful shots there we're seeing as well.
Well, what we saw almost immediately there was, I think in a more obvious sense, it was the fact that Myztro CS had a wonderful start. Team Liquid were able to start bringing it back very, very quickly. And it kind of goes back to what we just talked about, where Rafa kind of mentions in the past that they need to kind of get their feet wet versus teams.
Yes.
Now, I kind of feel like that's exactly what happened in Ruins. And a huge part of that just comes from the intense, but the most informative communication. Every time, I want to hear more listenings from these guys, to be honest, especially you can almost hear the evolution of it.
I'm learning so much every time.
But I mean,
I'm not even joking, it's brilliant. And I love everything that's been called out. You've got the timings for both of the items that are going. They say, okay, there's a delay on the protection or the quad, exactly what time is it going to be appearing, where are the enemies coming from, which ones are weak, and they were even taking down the protection carrier, saying exactly how much damage they were doing to them. I mean, everything was there, yet mechanically they were still performing perfectly. It was like virtuosic in nature there. It was immense.
Yeah, I think there's a reason Team Liquid are, you know, not only the best team in the world, but loads of other teams in 2v2 have essentially followed their example, and they look up to these guys, you know, 100%. However, that is only map 1. It's going to be map 2 now on the Corrupted Keep, but it's nerve-wracking, Zoot, because this is the map that Liquid invented.
Well, we are going to see, we are moving into the game right now. We have an interesting selection of champions and an interesting play there that I just saw from Zron. He's dropped a totem just off the side of the map, which might be able to enhance their performance if they can get that triple stack going a little later. BJ's also been picked by Claws, but we have Eisen and Galena for Liquid. Not the Strog that I was expecting.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it just comes down to the champions again. You know, we saw the second we saw the BJ come out from Myztro CIS on the Ruins, we saw the Aizen as an answer from Liquid. It's the exact same players as well, it feels. So we'll see if that's going to be enough here. A little bit of a back and forth to kick things off. I almost feel like, again, you kind of need to start getting your momentum for the frags to start racking up. And so much setup potential from Team Liquid. You know, you've got the totem for the power-up, which means you don't necessarily need to use the turret for it instead, or vice versa.
The Hang getting a push onto Claws. Rafa's right there with him the whole way. Now, a small lead established by Liquid in the first minute. I wouldn't say quite as insane a start as we got between Nimiga and Myztro earlier, but more calculated, more calm. The Hang, so much that he has to work with. It's going to be outside of that tri-bolt range, but looks like Rafa won't be.
The Hang just getting almost like pushed into an even better angle to land that rocket, doing him a favor, the 2v1, but going in for a pummel at a bad time. It's almost like, I feel like because the Hang almost like mishandled that fight, they're fortunate he suicided, because I feel like they actually approached that 2v1 pretty incorrectly. That said, it's going to be a power-up spawning again, and it's going to be Liquid holding hands as the quad damage is going to be in Rafa's.
Can I?
Yes, you can. Wait, what?
I'll skim over that. Maybe I blacked out on the champion bans, but
there was a Doomslayer ban.
Oh, it was the Doomslayer.
Yeah.
Oh, am I right? Oh, isn't it? I know. Okay.
Are you on the wrong page?
All right. I'm not. I don't know where I am. Catch up.
It was the
catch up. Rafa knows where he is, though. He gets a good end to that run, and
we won't give the stream the context of that mini conversation that we just had. It's fine. We'll forget it ever happened. Moving on. 11-3.
He's even going to get himself the heavy armor. Look how stacked this guy is. We're going to have a quick look at the score. He's on 11 kills. He's got 11 of the 13 frags that Liquid has. Oh my god, I thought he was going to get that full shotgun blast. Some nice rockets from Zron, but Claws finally there to support him a little bit, but it's still mostly the Liquid show.
It's one of those sort of classic cases in the Corrupted Keep where you want to hold control of this LG room, of which, you know, we've been watching Team Liquid for pretty much the entirety, and for good reason. Just look at the absolute rampage that both members of Liquid are starting to adapt here. Claws finally takes out Hang, but it feels like they've not been able to find their footing at all. The control, and I think the setup actually from both Aizen and Galena combined means you're almost a little bit more free. The second you've got the turret and the totems down, you can almost sort of like extend out of the room and then start doing some damage, picking up some frags, getting those 2v1s they've been doing the entire time. Speaking of which, bad time to get caught there. Rafa unfortunately commits suicide.
Definitely unfortunate, but Zron, he's got a little bit of a stack to work with. He knows to go against two players over at the heavy armor, guys. We're going to just quickly hop into Myztro and see what they're like.
Меня в кале оставили. Да Ханг тоже так себе вроде. Идет. Топ тэш.
I'm a little bit concerned about that, Zoo. I assure you guys at home, your earphones were working fine.
They were.
There were just very little, dare I say, no comms.
And, okay, let's point out the obvious. Zron from Ukraine, Claws is from Belarus. They do speak Russian in their comms, but I don't think they were really speaking anything during that.
That concerns me, because that means 100% Team Liquid are getting more information than Myztro CIS at all moments in the map.
And you know what? I don't want to point it out again, but Claws going versus anything to do with Rafa, it's like his arch nemesis. We've seen this before. This isn't something absolutely fresh. Zron, Claws, both extremely talented players, but there's something about Rafa, I don't know, some mystique, and Claws isn't able to face up against it. And you know
dare
what?
I say more?
Yeah, Zron isn't able to pick up the pieces behind as well. And if you're not talking to each other, how are you going to be able to coordinate even half as well as Liquid?
Yeah, I feel like we're in a position right now where this map is just going to be a write-off. If there are no comms, then it almost feels like they're, like, I don't want to say it feels like they're giving up halfway through, but Liquid, you know, if we were to jump into their comms right now, it would be just intense and just as informative, which means that Liquid, they have an advantage because they have more information.
Even if they go 40-9, for instance, they will be speaking just the way we heard on Ruins of Sarnath. They'll have every single bit of information. They will not put their foot off the gas pedal until the job is done. Well, that was awesome rockets from Claws, actually, but unfortunately, he just needs so much more. It's just not enough. Guys, we're actually going to be able to get over onto those Liquid comms.
48. I'm held up. I'm held up both outer and low green.
Okay, okay.
Dropping totem. I'm weak at Mega.
I'm
Come,
close.
come.
I got getting LG, then Mega.
Trying to save.
Got it.
9.
9.
Rocket spawn. Upper green, Eisen. Window.
Getting heavy.
Rockets. Killing nail. Nail deads.
Okay.
Upper nail.
Coming.
Yep. I'm passive at bones.
Okay.
Maybe taper down a little bit on our expectations, but still, all the information's there. Everything they need to do to get the job done. I mean, I still there's no mistakes that I could point out. That I want to point out that anything.
And it just seems to be another day in the office for Liquid at this stage.
Yeah.
It's 14 kills for CIS, Liquid with 40. This is, dare I say, have we seen a map this one-sided in the whole tournament on stream so far?
Don't know. We've seen a couple of one-sided maps, sure, but it doesn't feel like this way. This
one feels particularly savage.
Yeah, it's slightly underwhelming from Myztro CIS, I got to be honest. I know I predicted them to do better in the tournament, but you got to say, you're going to play in the tournament what you practice, and I don't know if they're not practicing the right comms. That I would expect Myztro CIS to have much better comms than, say, Avec and Cypher, but they sounded really good. I know they were practicing really hard, and you can tell that that was coming to fruition in the event itself. But Zron, definitely a big team player. I would expect him to be commanding a lot with Claws, who is a little bit more a solo individual. He's happy to be kind of ordered around, but there's just not enough going on from Myztro.
Yeah, I think right now this is just going to be a matter of process. You know, Myztro CIS, they're doing what they can to stay back into this fight. 100%, I doubt their morale is going to be crushed from a loss like this because they are two world-class players in their own right. That said, it's a pretty crushing defeat to face, and they have one map left to go after this one. I know we're talking as if the map's already over, but in my opinion, it is already over.
Yeah. Let's find out that is going to be protection going over to Rafa. He's going to be able to back up, get the rockets. He's found a couple of totems there, which he's not eliminating for the moment. But he's just going in for the frags. It seems like one focus is just get over to your teammate, do something about it. Quick little hop over to Mega Help. There's the rocket to jump away. And now he's got all the tools needed to maybe secure something else in this last 10 seconds of protection. Oh, he just went past him.
But he gave his position away. I don't even know why he actually gave his position away there, to be honest.
He's getting chased down now. He might actually lose his life because of it. Indeed he does. And those totems have now been taken away.
That would have been much better, I think, if he just kind of lost him. In essence, he can sort of regain himself. Fortunately, dying is going to give him the respawn, so he can appear there and finish him off. But yeah, 25 to 42. There is elements of a comeback here. Liquid have somewhat slowed down, but they have such a significant lead. They could make a few mistakes for a fair few minutes, but it's not really going to count. Here comes Tahang and Rafa getting the two-piece easily, and now they just need 6 more frags to finish things off.
Finally, Tahang getting a couple of extra weapons too. I think he's going to want that rocket. It spawns for him. He orders it, commands it, and the spawn delivers. There's the 100-100. Mega Health is going to be coming up shortly. Seems like he's got some solid timing. They're firing some rockets over at the ledge, trying to get that splash damage going. 1 second till the spawn. There's the spam. It's brilliant timing from him, but to be honest, that was a really good attack, finally from Myztro. But is it too late? It's got to be.
It feels like it's too late for me, because even if they're making some of these real miracle moments, in between those big plays that are working out where they're getting these unreturned kills, they're still giving up kills here and there, just like this. So I definitely go as far to say that Liquid have still won this map. It's just not enough.
I think they just spotted, I think the Hank just spotted that there's a totem on the other side there. They really want to get rid of it, but you know what? You're so close to the end already. I wouldn't put yourself out of position too hard because of it. Got a pickup from the Mega there. He's going to find a player through the teleporter. Zron is going to end up suiciding. I think this is looking to do an attack. If he can get that spawn going in time, Claws is currently on his own, but Zron is down there. However, Tahang finishes off the 2 Myztro players and now sets Liquid 2 frags away from putting themselves onto match point.
That's going to be 3 now as the suicide comes out from Tahang, but at this stage it doesn't matter at all. Rafa's going to catch Zron on the downside there. Claws gets annihilated too, and oh no, the spawn. Just accept your death, I think, at this point.
Oh, hello. And the rocket, that would have been about 400 damage from it. Team Liquid looking unstoppable in the quarterfinals. Is there anything else other than a 3-0 going to come?
It's not only I think is it a scary position to be on the back foot of having 2 maps down, it was just a matter of how dominant that was. And yes, Myztro CIS, they started to, I don't want to say they were starting to bring things back, but they weren't getting stomped as hard, that's for sure. That said, it was still a decisive scoreline at the end, and the first, the first 3 quarters of that entire map was just the Liquid show and a complete masterclass of 2v2. So the lack of comms, it's very concerning. They just straight up weren't talking to each other. And when you're against Liquid, who are going to be intense and informative at all moments, because this is how they train. It's why they have the best training regime in the world.
Yeah.
It just feels like, at this point, that it's a complete uphill struggle for poor old Myztro.
Yeah, I mean, there was maybe a 25 or so frag difference at one point. They brought it back within sub 20, but I mean, yay. We get to celebrate that, right? We are going to be going over to Awoken, it looks like, next. This is going to be another smallish map. Pretty fast pace, I'd expect. We're obviously going to be adding rail to the formula over here. Another silver lining against Myztro CIS's map pick. We could see something a little bit closer, and I know that they're incredibly good on this map, but they're incredibly good everywhere, and we've, I think, only been left with disappointment from them, which feels bad to be able to say on this stage, man.
It does indeed. I know it does for you. You sort of have so much history with like Ron, for example, and you're always kind of be gunning for these guys deep down.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, we talk about being good on Awoken. This is Rafa and Dahang's favorite map.
Yeah.
Like, this is a map they're good at as well. So
exactly.
I don't know. We might see some slightly different champion picks. You almost wonder if Ron's the kind of player that might sort of go for some kind of... is he the kind of player to maybe go for a surprise pick here? Has he been cooking something up behind the scenes? We've seen him do wonderful things with Scalebearer and Molten Falls before, but I don't know if that's going to be the case here on Awoken, where Liquid are on the verge of a 3-0 here in this top 8 bracket.
Yeah, let's see, guys. They are just moving in now, and it looks like we are going to be getting Eisen Galena between the two teams. I would have liked to see Myztro maybe try an off pick, but I believe they went VJ for a while on the CK, and I thought that was very strange considering everything that happened in the patch a few weeks ago.
It just didn't work either, and that's the problem. I mean, dare I say that might be part of why the dominant start happened, and then when the snowball effect happens, it's it's now impossible to come back from it. That said, they're going a bit more traditional with the current patch here with Eisen and Galena paired back-to-back. Dahang was instantly on it, by the way, with that hidden totem location. I think they've seen that trick before. It
was a good effort, but yeah, as soon as you go through the Petit, you're going to be seeing that. We do have first blood over from Myztro, but hopefully we'll be singing some more praises in a few short moments. We're just on the rotation away, basically, from the quad damage that will spawn. Dahang is really weak, and actually if you hit your teammate with a rocket and you're nearby, you will still do self-damage, so Dahang, be careful while you're on 10 HP.
At this point, I think he's going, oh my god, speaking of be careful, he's walking a fine line with his current stack, and yeah, I mean, like, I'm not really surprised that just happened.
It almost looked like he wanted to go down. He was just putting himself, hoping they could get maybe a bit more damage, like a bit more value from it. Oh, and Claus isn't going to be able to get the rocket right at the end. Dahang now blocking this position from Zron. Zron was some amazing LG, actually. That was super nice. There's 5 seconds now until the quad spawns. Rafa gets some brilliant rockets himself of 1v1, which Rafa wins, and that is going to allow him to get the quad damage. Rafa suicides, though. Dahang's picked it up and immediately is able to fend off Zron.
He has a scary stack, and that's going to be a guaranteed kill. I think if he can pick it off, Claus is going to drop down. Zron has an LG, and that was remarkable damage.
Wow.
Very important to land that one. I mean, just vital. 4 to 6. They need to get at least a couple more to even things up. And Zron caught with his pants down just slightly, but the defense from Liquid, they're already out of there, just giving him no angles. Misses the shotgun blast. Oh no!
That is horrific, and you've got to be so careful as the quad player. Even though you do so much damage, you're still incredibly fragile. When you've got players at this level, their damage output is still amazing, and you've got to respect it. Maybe Zron's feeling like he's got to pull out all the stops somehow just to start gaining an advantage from Myztro.
I mean, this is that kind of give, you go big or go home at this point. You're so far behind, and even the mental fortitude required to be 2 maps down, how the only way to win, you have no choice but to 3 maps straight, a team that has been basically destroying you. It's hard for any player to deal with, at least little players at this level. But that said, Dahang gets a rail, actually 2, back to back. just to Hang. Again, the constant, you can just put so much faith into Hang that he's gonna land those shots when it counts.
I can't believe that Rafa survived so long at that heavy. Got all that damage out when he's only on 4 points of health. There was a nice dodge from him. Right, LG switch over from the Hang. Rafa takes down Claws. And we're going to have that last rotation here of the major items before the protection spawns, but they're getting so much damage. It's a 1-for-1 for the moment, but the Hang makes it a 2-for-1. And here comes the Mega Spawn. Again, fantastic play. It's not a big advantage right now at all for Liquid. They're still very much Myztro CIS are able to fight in this, but I want to see them continue pressuring those power-ups. Oh!
No!
I was going to say that hurts Ron a lot, but it hurt to Hang a little more. Claws manages to get the 1v1 with Rafa going. We've got a totem down. There's a turret too. Protection has been taken by Ron. He gets an amazing rocket.
I feel bad for Dahang because he had a different weapon out right before he swapped to rocket. Like, for a split second, he wasn't going to go for that rocket, but he decided to at the last minute. But the damage is real!
Why?
That totem is going to destroy. I don't know why he went in there.
Yes, Ron did it again. I don't think they had timing on the Mega Health, otherwise surely he would have gone for that. Claws ends up taking the Mega. They've got it. I mean, is that down to communication? Does one of them know it and not telling the other?
I mean, at this stage, who knows? Maybe.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but perhaps.
Yeah, I feel like... Again, Zron is a big player. He's amazing in fights. The combo kills that this guy can get is ridiculous, but you're going against Liquid. If you make a positional error, they're going to punish you. It doesn't matter if it's 2v2 or duel. It's insane what they do. Rafa again with rockets. He's so weak, still getting 90 damage. Claws finally fires back, shuts down the madness.
The sheer amount of 100 damage rockets that Rafa is landing is impeccable. It just means that he has his head screwed on so well of just predicting their movement, because they're running right into his trap. He knows exactly where they're going to go around corners. And unfortunately, the rewards are great because you just finish it off with a little bit of LG. Dahang is probably going to pick up as well. Going back to that confidence I was talking about, where you know Dahang's going to be right there, just ready to pick up the pieces. If not, get the kills by himself.
Claws was basically just watching Zron die in front at the teleporter. He maybe could have dropped or got sidestepped over above the bounce pad, tried to get some damage off himself, but he was just waiting for the heavy. I feel like that unison, that teammate appreciation isn't there. And this is another lineup that Claws has been in all the 2v2 lands. He always has a different teammate. And it's Liquid that ends up shutting him down every single time. There's still time in this. Something to change. We've got 7 frags to go. Claws is coming back into this, but let's go over to the Liquid boys catch up. They are going to be on comms now.
I'm dead at window.
Okay, 3 was Mega. P, careful. 18
Banana, I gotta fight him. It did 50. He's blocking A.
He's nail. Sewers. Heavy's up.
It's down. She's gonna get though. I'm dead.
Yep.
Heavies, zeros.
Page. Mega still
Healing.
up. Jump pad, jump pad.
5.
Coming.
30 and 5. Galena weakest.
Okay.
Careful.
So we are starting to see a little bit more coordination in the fights themselves, you know, throughout the entire, what was a really, really sort of good quad as well, by the way. Of course, Ron being able to pick up after Claws had eventually bit the dust. But there's a lot more, I think, just punctuality between them, which they've needed the entire time. Oh my God, that was so good.
It looks like Myztro have suddenly woken up, actually. They've made a really good comeback on the score. Okay, 1 rocket, there's the follow-up. Claws is there to support on this occasion. He's chasing up at T, and we've got a flank from below from Zron. He does good damage. Claws falls, but I'm finally seeing some plays from Myztro that I wanted to see on map 1.
But if you're going to turn the heat up versus Team Liquid, you know they're going to return the favor. It's the strength they've had the entire time of you adapt to them, or at least you just start playing better. They'll just simply start playing better than you. They've done it time after time. And speaking of which, Rafa with the 2v1, ask and you shall receive. And anything that resembled a comeback, wow, Liquid have snuffed out immediately.
What the hell, I got hit by that.
Nice.
Claws gets a rocket on the exit. Got LG ammo already. He's hoping for this light armor to spawn. There's not really any items you can challenge for. Zron and Claws are going to have to close in on this. His LG looks really good, but with the knockback, he almost pushes the player back. He dies to Dahang. At the same time, Zron, he jumps up. He's only on 27 points of health, but we've got a few seconds left. Nail gun's not enough to stop Liquid, and Claws is just too far away to have an effect. We are 30 for 30. With Rafa with heavy control, But it looks like he's been, Claus is just trying to slow him down with some projectiles.
And it's kind of doing the job for now. That turret in itself is going to be a pain in the backside, but Rafa now is sort of trying to take the 2 versus 1. I actually love that angle where he was forcing himself into only 1 stream of damage at a time. They're trying to converge again, but Rafa, at this health, he can still fight for as long as he wants. He's going to chase it down. Zron cannot escape. Sorry about that, but it's only 1 kill separating the 2 teams. The protection didn't do as much as perhaps it could.
It was good defense from Myztro. They managed to stay away. They didn't lose their life too much. Rafa is going to secure another. Claus is trying to pressure the heavy and at least reduce the stack, but we're seeing again some brilliant shots from Liquid. Looks like they've realized that Myztro are turning up the heat, and so they're going to do exactly the same thing as they start, again, establishing an even bigger lead.
It just comes down to being, they're incredibly ready for these fights. Speaking of which, Claus does get a wonderful shot there, catching Rafa, just not quite ready for him to come around the corner. But again, the big thing about Zron and Claus is their punctuality working together in these fights. But then as we can see, look at how many dual LGs are coming through for the Liquid boys. Like, they're doing the exact same thing back in essence.
Claus has got a brilliant stack. He's got to get some benefits from this. Some good tri-ball spam up at T. Rockets coming in. They're trying to dodge out, and Claus is like, please, will you go down now? Zron is able to finish that one. More LG ammo for Claus. He's going to go through a teleporter, finds the turret, quickly eliminated so that the rocket spot's no longer blocked. And there's going to be heavy soon, so this is going to be a very important item. And the LG from Claus is exactly as expected. It's fantastic.
Claus really sort of doing what he can to keep them at arm's reach, and Zron offering support from the back. The positioning's great because it forces you to sort of split your targets so massively and just taking the trade. That looked like a very obvious trade from Claus too. He had to die anyway.
Yeah, that was actually an incredibly good point. He gets the respawn. He now gets to go with Zron, get himself over to that power-up. The Hank does manage to take him out. Zron is on his own. He's trying to deal some damage. Both the Liquid players are kind of low. Claus does some damage from the sideline, but he overcommits to the fight a little bit. Oh, and Zron, he did have an angle. He finds the rail over at the jump pad. He's still jumping up. Oh, that's maybe a little bit too far, but at least he slows down the power-up run a bit.
I feel like in terms of optimization, I think that the hang was very obvious with his straight line there. He knew that if he died, Rafa would have been able to collect anyway, so let's try and get there as fast as possible. If I die, so what? Rafa's going to pick it up. That said, it's been wonderful for them. Only slightly ahead, though. There's only 4 kills this point, but it is the critical point for Team Liquid. 10 frags, make that 9, and these guys will win 3-0 here in the top 8.
At least we're seeing like a good finish for Myztro. If they do happen to go out, they still can come back, and this isn't over. I feel like we're finally seeing them at their, who knows if it's their full potential, but at least they're reaching higher limits on this occasion.
A wise man once said, there's still time.
Absolutely. FYI, we got Rafa leading the scoreboard, by the way. 25 frags he's now just got. The Hang is on 18. We've got Zron on 20, and Claus on 16.
This is such a scary position for CIS. They know full well what's on the line here, and you said it yourself, how much money separates the teams that make it through this first round of top 8, and Team Liquid 7 kills away. They've been playing so well and so, dare I say, bulletproof at this point. CIS, they have signs of life, but is it enough? The good rockets from Rafa, making it easier for them to win at this point. Looks like Tahang should get the win as well. Look how weak Claus is.
Oh my what are these rockets?
How does he know he's there?
He's not even looking at him. It's just these predictive shots. It's just flawless spam. It almost sounds like I'm...
Sneak dissing.
Yeah. I'm not trying to install the rockets. It's just perfect. He's having an educated guess where his opponents are, and he is hitting the money shots.
It's both Rafa and Tahang going back to the confidence. Tahang's going to get 2 rails in a row. They just need 3 more, and they're sending Myztro CIS home. It's a trade, but at this point, that's a trade Team Liquid want to take.
Yeah, we've got protection for Tahang. 2 more kills needed. We had so much positivity from Myztro this map, but they've just not been able to sustain it. Liquid stepped up their game even more remarkably enough. And it's just moments away.
It's crazy how a team can play near perfect and somehow they can continue to hang with the protection. This has to be guaranteed. Going in with the OG, he should win this fight comfortably. And there we have it. Team Liquid continuing their spree of dominance, and they will be moving on.
Sometimes you just find a way to be perfecter.
The perfect organism.
Yeah. Rafa, 28 for 22. Tahang, 22 for 19, both with 9 assists. We're 20 for 28, 17 for 26 for Zron and Claus, respectively. At least it was a positive finish, I think, for Myztro. It looked way better than the previous map, but all about Liquid here. It was a really fantastic performance, and unfortunately denting that stat for Zron.
It does indeed. But the thing is, we're going to get some really, really, really impressive matches up next, which I, for one, am incredibly excited to see. If you're new to Quake Champions and you're just tuned in, that's pretty much a masterclass on 2v2 and why Team Liquid is the best team in the world. However, though, we've talked for long enough about this.
Yep.
It's time for the analyst, boys. Take it away.
Talked for long enough. I actually thought like we just started the match there because that was over so quickly. Though I will say this, Myztro CIS, I was sitting there with 40. I was like, oh, this is pretty much over, right? Liquid have like a fantastic lead against them. And out of nowhere, Myztro did come back on Awoken, but obviously it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot of great plays on both sides, mostly from Liquid, obviously. But I think if we're going to focus on anything, I would say when they went to the comms. Every cut, they went to the comms and we're listening to Liquid communicate. That's something special. I mean, I was out there and I'm like, wow, that's just flawless communication. They're passing off so much information. And at Quake, I mean, information is everything.
Yeah. And also building on that, in addition to the communication, I said it yesterday too, one of the best things about Team Liquid is just their ability to convert frags into a sustainable lead. That's something they do better than any other team. They'll get 1 or 2 frags and they will be able to just build it into control, get a solid rotation on the weapons and the items, and just completely choke the other team out of the map.
Well, luckily for us, we'll actually get to talk to someone from Team Liquid in a few moments. But let's take a look at the top 3 plays from that last match. And I'm pretty sure it's going to all be